Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for stopping by my channel and watching my video. If you are new to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for when I publish a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my alternates I made with the June 2021 paper pumpkin kit called Expressions in Color. So I like to add products from my stash and or coordinating items out of the catalog that they say coordinate with the kit. So here are a few of the things I'm going to show you that I added to make this kit. First was the artistically inked bundle. I bought this as a bundle. It comes with the stamp set and the dies. The dies do not come with a magnet here, but I do that so that I store them. Another tip that I've shared before is I write how many dies are in a set so that when I go to put them up I can count and make sure I have them all, because if you're like me, some of these end up on the floor somehow. So there's just one tip. I also put a name of the die set on the stamp set so that when I go to look for it I know what I'm looking for. Now this one is pretty much the same, but some of them are different. I store my dies and stamp sets separately in alphabetical order, so this just helps me go find the exact die that I need. Okay, so let me get started with some alternates and I'll show you how I incorporated these things. Okay, the first one I did involved this paper, this card base that is intended to make with the vellum flower that came in the kit. One thing that I do is I cut those in half. So one half was solid freesia. I'm trying to see if it shows it in here. Okay, it doesn't show the back half, and I've cut all mine apart, but I can show you a piece I have left when I run across it. Here it is. Oh good, and this shows you exactly how I cut it. So the back side of this card is a solid piece of this. So what I did is I took the scalloped contour dies, the second die, and I cut out the center. Okay, and I did that from the solid piece and the patterned piece. Okay, so this would have been the opposite side, and then I would put them in like this. So this is one card I haven't finished yet, and I left it like that so that I could show you on the video exactly what I did for these. So I really like the Blackberry Bliss look with this. I thought it really made this pop. So I did the same thing to a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Blackberry Bliss. I took the die, I cut out the center, and then I used it on this card. Okay, so this card uses the base with the center cut out, and I replaced it with the Blackberry Bliss center. So one thing I did is I colored the back of this vellum piece that came in the kit, but I really think I'm going to add this to that. This is the die from the artistic die set, this detailed flower, and it's a perfect duplicate of the vellum print that we got. I just really like how that pops, but if you don't have that set, I think these are just as beautiful. So from this kit we have 3 vellum sets. If you have the die set, you can go ahead and make 4 and keep making them. Here's another one that I made. This uses the background with a white piece in here, and this time I cut my detailed flower out of Blackberry Bliss. Okay, and then don't leave your envelopes blank. I took in Fresh Freesia, this stamp set that was included in the paper pumpkin kit, and I decorated some of the envelopes with that. Okay, so my customers, I cut them some extra so that they could make 4 of these each. So we made 4 of those cards in my class the other day. And then I got out some additional sayings from the mini messages stamp set and coordinating die just to have a variety of cards. So that one says thinking of you with sympathy and prayer. This one says sending a smile your way. This one I haven't completed yet. And this one uses the stamp set from the kit. Okay, so let me put these over here. And we'll get to my next set. My next set, I started with the green note card size envelopes. And this is the first one I made. I just took the ink and a sponge dauber and inked the back of this thanks. I took half of the vellum from the kit. And can you see the different shades on the evergreen piece? Well, I took the alcohol ink image either from the kit or the one in the die in this stamp set, and I gave it some additional shading with evergreen using those stamps. So I don't know if that shows on the video, but that's what I did. It gave it a little more interest, and I matted it on a piece of white that was embossed with the Painted Textures 3D embossing folder. Added a little twine here because the note card front is a little different size aspect than our A2 cards here in the States. So that's what I did. This wasn't my favorite. We didn't do this one in my class, but I had done it, so I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is a fun fold card that we did 2 each of these, and maybe you can see it right there. You can see that's what I did to the evergreen, is I just took the alcohol ink stamp and used evergreen ink on there just to give it a different look so it wasn't so flat. Okay, and I am lucky enough to have a scan and cut, so let me see if I have an extra laying around of this piece. I cut a shadow piece using my scan and cut that we could put behind the vellum. You see that? You could easily just use your ink and color behind it, but I liked how just using a cardstock shows still white, but it helps it stand out some. And see all these? I did not see that we had the little flagged pieces in the kit until after I made these. Otherwise, I think that would have been much cuter to use those. But anyway, I took a piece, I cut up the bumblebee card, and then I ran it through the greenery embossing folder here on the left. Okay. And then just to give this some, so it wasn't so white, I took the image, the stamp image that was in the kit, and just made a little border around that for the thank you card. And this was cut again with the same die that I cut all the others out of the scalloped contour dies. Okay, and then here's what I did with these envelopes too, these green ones. I thought that gave it a very dramatic look. Is it getting glary? The color is not looking right, just right. I think it's this light. Let me turn this light off and see if that, oh, that helps a lot. Okay, so I like doing the flap of the envelope with these cards. Okay. So, and again, we did 2 of the previous card, and we will do 2 of this card. This uses half of one of the solid card fronts that they gave you, and the design of this card I copied from Sun Stamping. Suzanne is her name, and I really liked this design. I used Blackberry Bliss here as a panel to half of a vellum sheet, so that's cut in half at 2 inches, and then this is half of one of the card fronts matted with the green, and I did use the green from the bases that they gave us that were note card size. Okay, and then I added these, which are from the Ferns Forever Flourishing dies, and I just cut a whole bush and then cut off leaves of those to add to the side. Okay, so we made 2 of these. Okay, and again I did an envelope with the alcohol ink image. Alright, the next card, I saw a design like this on Facebook, but it had the flower over it, and I really wanted just the alcohol ink look to stand out, so I again used the biggest piece of the scallop contour dies for the background. Keep all this together, things tend to go missing. And then I added a gold leaf. This is from the Retired Leaf Punch. I easily could have used a die, but for making the kits for my class, the punch was the easiest. And then we added some gold rhinestones just to give it a little something. Okay, and we made 2 of these cards. Again, I did the same look on the back of the envelope. Okay, this card uses half of a bumblebee card base, and I took the alcohol ink stamp from the kit. Just did some random ones. I didn't want to cover the whole thing, and then also took the flowers in there. And then I used a white piece of the scallop contour dies and stamped the flower that was in our kit, the stamp, in Memento ink, and then I colored it with polished pink and the evening evergreen. I did just a teeny tiny bow there of twine from our kit, and look, I found the little tags from our kit and added that. So, and I like my cards to flip up this way. That is one benefit of cutting your own card bases. You can decide which way you want them to go. Okay, and for that envelope, it's getting really glary. Let's see if I can, I stamped the little flower and the little, what are those called? Sprigs on the back of this flap. Okay, now, and then, well, okay, just using the stamps. If you're done with everything in your kit, which I'm not, I still have extras, and I'll probably make doubles of some of these myself, is this stamp, or this card. And I copied this design from Rachel Tesman on Stamp Your Art Out, and I really liked how she made a little bookbind card. So this is like the book bind, and then you write on the inside. I already have something on my card. So this, I use the ink splotch from the kit, the stamp there, and this one. Those two really work together well. And I haven't put my label on yet, but I thought those really give it a random, more truistic, like she said, look. So I added both of those stamps, and I think that's the stamp I used on the envelopes. You can kind of tell because it's nowhere is there a solid splotch, but those stamps work well together. Okay, so this is if you've used everything in your kit, you can make these cards with just the stamps and the ink. This is a Retired Wreath Builder die that I did leaves from, but there are lots of leaves, current leaf dies available. Okay, all right, and so then, so the next thing I did using just the stamps was make these cards. So we speak English. Everyone in my class speaks English, and we hate putting the foreign, beautifully printed vellum to waste. So I thought of this idea for these cards. So this uses colors from the kit, the evergreen and the bumblebee, and I just eyeballed really the thanks, ran it off the page, and then alternated colors. This was some DSP that I had. It's actually in crushed curry, but I think it looks fine, and so is the ribbon. It's a retired crushed curry. And this, I did the same thing with my scanning cut. I thought I had gathered a blank piece to show you, but I cannot seem to locate one. But you get the idea. It just creates a little shadow around the vellum to help it stand up, and then you can put dimensionals under it and they don't show through. Okay, and then I put some of the sequins on there. Okay, and then just to give it a different look, oh, and here's the envelope. Put thanks on the corner. And then we made another one with a blue and pear pizzazz. And this is some coordinating cardstock that I had in my stash. And you could do the whole thing with the thanks. And that would look good too if you wanted to use up these foreign messages. And that's a way to not let those go to waste. So I really hope you liked all the ideas. Let me see if I can lay them all out. Get my stamp set put away. Alright, here's just a quick review of those two. These use just the stamps. Okay. And then with the yellow. So in total, my kit alternates, they made 20. And 3 of them were Donka, am I pronouncing that right? And 3 of them were Mercy. And just a total of 20. That was my kitty sneezing, if you heard that. He's my crafting buddy. Okay, so I think you got the idea. I laid them all out. Here's the basic design where you can see the cutout. Okay, and it fits perfectly in. And just a tip here too at the end. If it doesn't look like this looks like the way it goes, but sometimes they're not exactly, see, like this one, it doesn't want to go in there very good. It shows some space. So if that happens, flip it around, because they're not always symmetrical, and that one, it seems to go in right in, leaving no space. So that's just a tip on dies when you cut one out to use the negative space out of it. So I hope you've joined these alternates that I've created and shared with you today. Again, if you're new to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe. I will have a link in the description box below with still pictures of these on my blog. And also, if you do not have a Paper Pumpkin subscription and would like to start, I'll have a link where you can start your subscription with me. If you have a demonstrator already, subscribe through your demonstrator, and then if you need any of the coordinating products that I did with this kit, then just contact me, and I also have a host code that you can order some supplies in the description box below to order through me. Again, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed these alternates. Bye-bye.